Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it. Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here, and it is Thursday, and it is 8:32 a.m. EST. Was making coffee, maybe 2 minutes late. Kind of had a running start today. Hit the ground running. So, but let's get into it. So the USDJPY is where I want to look today, and I talked about this with Algo Factory. And it's really difficult to actually like predict this, right? What I'm talking about here, it's a setup that seems forced. Now, we had that big move down last week. And by the way, the chart you're looking at, that's the daily chart. So I'm going to talk about how a lot of people trade. Now, I don't really normally do this kind of trading here. By the way, we got V the Gorilla in the house. How are you, sir?
Namaste. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good to have you. Do you make sure that you had your curry before the show?
Yes. Good having you as well.
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
We have a new member in the private chat. We have Joaquim. Good to have you in, sir. Good morning, Cool Cat. So, yeah, I was just looking at the setup for the USDJPY, and I'm sharing it because this is not something I would trade. So I don't mind kind of telling the public about it and not keeping it with the private live lab. This is the kind of trading that people, it's kind of gambly, but there's snap elections on Sunday, right? So, V, what's your thoughts on that? Do you have any thoughts on Japan dissolving their parliament, the snap election, and any of that stuff? You got any info on that?
I don't have any info, but it's going to be interesting to see what occurs. I'll have more info after they do the snap elections because it's too chaotic to tell right now.
Yeah, I guess until you see what happens with the election itself.
Exactly. We got to wait until the dust settles.
Yeah, that's true. So, but what's interesting about the chart itself is that you had this big move up, USDJPY. And what I was looking at here is we've been talking about the carry trade. Geez, V, how long have you told the Algo Factory about the carry trade almost 2 years ago now, I think.
Absolutely.
Well over a year ago. Yep. You warned us about it. And the carry trade is basically what's going to happen with the Bank of Japan is that if they decide to protect their currency and hike their interest rate, which is the opposite of what they've done for 20 some odd years, if not longer, then it's going to crash the markets. And it pretty much did that back in July of 2024. This is the USD JPY chart. But if you look at NASDAQ in that same time period of July of 2024, you'll notice that the NASDAQ fell. I want to say it was, I can just measure it. Yeah, it was like 17% within a week. I mean, maybe a little bit longer. And that's just like the Bank of Japan hiking once in May and once in July, right? Yeah. And so the market fell. What do we have now? We have now the market falling. We have this is the NASDAQ that we're looking at. And we had a big move down in October. I forget what that's about. I forget why it fell in October. It was like 10% though. That's a lot of money for the NASDAQ to fall. And the Dow and everything else is going to be the same. So what's going to happen with the NASDAQ after this week is going to be key. And this might be the NASDAQ front running that move down. It might be that everybody knew it was coming during this time. And so all the smart money kept just, taking the cream off the top right here. Might be. We'll see about it. But the setup on the JPY is what I find interesting, is that if they decide, like if Takaishi in the snap election gets what she wants, then there's a really good chance we're going to see the Japanese yen get stronger, which pushes this chart down. And that's what this big move was that when the parliament dissolved, no one really knows, right? But the assumption is that there is speculation here that was going to happen, that Takaishi and hers would win, and you would see this big move down right here. Okay. That's everybody thinking that the Japanese yen is going to get stronger and push the USD JPY down, because that's what happens when the Japanese yen gets stronger. The USD JPY currency pair goes down, right? US in terms of the yen. So this now, that violent move down was bought back up, and it's just been like bid and bid and bid and bid in a very inorganic manner, in a very market making type way. If I were to come down to say like the 3-hour time frame and take a look at this move over the last week, this really isn't how markets move. That look right there, that's not how markets move. Markets tend to move more of a give and take. Even on the way up, there's a certain pattern that you see, pullbacks. On the way down, you get little moves up. On the way up, you get little moves down. But this bit last year, this entire week, it's just been grinding up with very, very little give, especially this last few days. There's not a lot of volume in the market, and it just keeps like every little pullback gets bought up. So now it hit that level that I drew days ago, and look, it's falling. Oh, look at that. I draw a level and it falls. Interesting, right? Well, why did I draw that level? It's because it was liquidity from this prior high. So what we're going to see in the next few days is difficult to predict because really the Japanese parliament is non-existent. Everybody's on the edge of their seat. You did have a lot of data come out this morning that we'll cover in the private live lab here in a few minutes. But there's a good chance that the move either starts right now because of the European and British news, or it's going to start in earnest on Sunday, right? So you might see kind of this maybe, and then down, or you might see just down. And it's not going to happen until the Sunday Open because I believe the elections are on Saturday. So no one's going to have a chance to get the move. And Japan's really interesting in that they do a lot of their major market stuff when the market's closed. Like they'll either, or they just won't tell you when they're going to do it. Like the Bank of Japan, whenever they do their rate change, their rate announcement, they don't tell you when. They just say it's going to be on this day. They don't tell you what time. And I think that is in effort to keep people from speculating. So, from playing games with their stuff. That's what I think. Japanese culture's, it's a high trust society. Every culture has corruption to some degree, but my gestalt, and V, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but my impression of Japan is that they actually have a lower amount of corruption and they actually have their people's interest at heart.
Yeah, they do.
Am I correct on that one?
Yeah. You are correct.
So they're actually a cohesive society. Why? Because they're all Japanese, and because they have a really strong culture. It's those two things. They're 100% Japanese over there, very few exceptions, and they're a good culture. I mean, that's
you
a great
could
place.
have a multicultural society, but you would need a very, very strong unifying culture that everybody could rally around, and every single leader and politician and every single individual should be always promoting that culture 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you don't have, crazy whacked out leftists marginalizing it and destroying it, which is where we are today in the United States.
I don't see a multicultural that accomplishes that over a period of time.
Well, I mean, it does. Look at Singapore. Singapore is a very good example of a multicultural country, right? It's not multicultural in the sense of there's a lot of white people there, in the sense that there's various Asiatic races there. There's Indians, Chinese, Malayans. There's the Singaporeans. There's a myriad of different people, Thai and whatnot, that exist there, and they've been there for a very long time, forever. They get along great, no issues.
Well, see, you got two things there. One is that they've been there for a long time. There's no new people introduced. And number two,
no, that's true. But when you look at the United States, I mean, whites, blacks, Hispanics, natives, been here forever. You see what I'm saying? And that's the overarching majority cultures, right? You can even say the Chinese have been here. What are you looking at? You the ceiling again? Are you looking at
yeah, no, I'm trying
ceiling?
to get my. I'm surprised you can see that. I'm trying to get my monitors to work. I got trading monitors.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just like scanning charts while we're talking.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, there's
Singapore, these days, right? Charts.
What's that?
That's what the kids are calling it these days. Charts.
Charts. Yeah, that's my goon station.
Goon station.
I mean, Singapore is also a what do you call it? Singapore is extremely. They're what do you call it? They're heavy-handed with their rule.
Yeah, they're very heavy-handed. That's the other thing they need. It's like you also have to have very strict rules, and nobody's above the law. And then on top of that, it's like it's like if you first-degree murder, automatic death penalty, and it shouldn't take like years and years and years and years. It's like, that's the way it should be, but alas, it is not.
And the people who come into Singapore, none of them are poor.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like they control their immigration. So, it's there are certain things that go on there.
Malaysia is another example.
What's that?
Malaysia as well.
Yeah, well, they're pretty much in the same area, aren't they?
Yeah.
In fact, if you're you can't. This is what I heard in Malaysia. You can't even buy land if you're not Malay.
No, that's not true. Reason for that, I was actually looking at real estate options for a client of mine, and he's German. He's a multi-billionaire client of mine, and he owns one of the largest healthcare companies in all of Asia, and they were looking to purchase property in Malaysia. You could do it. It's just a different process. That's what I can tell you.
You got to get plastic surgery to look Malay. Fake a birth certificate. I get it.
Yeah. He's already got. He's a German guy, so he's already got like the slanted eye surgery and a barber. He put a wig on, so he has that Asian wig, and he looks like Kato.
He looks like Kato. Yeah. Kato Kalin?
No, Kato from.
I know. It's. I know. I said it there like OJ reference. So USDJPY, I do think that this move is going to happen, but I don't know that it's going to happen this week. There's a lot of pressure to the upside on this. Yeah. There's a lot of pressure on this where it can continue to sort of crawl up. It may not do that, but that's what the algos say. And in the meantime, the NASDAQ, this is not a good look for the bulls. Now, look, markets need to pull back. If you don't let markets pull back, you're going to have a problem because you're not building a foundation. And when they do finally pull back, it's a nasty event. So I don't mind. I mean, markets go up, markets go down. I don't mind seeing a pullback. I welcome pullbacks on the market. And that's because, I'm not somebody who just sits with my my money in the NASDAQ or in my 401k and prays that it's going to stay up. That's not, that's just being asleep at the wheel. So in the meantime, if I were playing the NASDAQ, I look for a move down to 23,900. And, probably something, maybe it might go straight down, it might not, but whatever happens, that might be where you start to see a bid, and then we'll see what happens at that point. So that's the USDJPY, the NASDAQ, and what we have thinking going on in Japan. V the Gorilla, do you want to move us over to the private live lab, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, follow us over to the private live lab, get the ins, the outs, and what it's all about right here on algofactory.tech. Learn to trade like a hedge fund pro and know on how to stay ahead of the global chaos, whether the market's up, whether the market's down. You'll be making the rounds with us over at algofactory.tech and profiting from the chaos. Join us or die.
Join us or die.
Just kidding. You're not going to die. We love you.
You might